For the first time since he joined the Giants, world champion and Braves fan favorite Tim Hudson takes the mound tonight as Atlanta hits the halfway point of this pivotal West Coast trip. It's the second of four coming your way by the Bay next. Well, fans, Tony Bennett once saying he left his heart in San Francisco, and lately the Giants' opponents have left their offenses at home. The Giants are on an amazing roll. They've fired 4 consecutive shutouts, including one last night against the Braves. Tonight it's Game 2 here at AT&T Park. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. Last night, 7-0 San Francisco. That doesn't tell the story. Shelby Miller was terrific. The Braves bullpen gave it up with a big 6-run 7th inning. Tonight, more power pitching for the Braves. Young Mike Fultonevich gets the ball for the Braves. He's been better each and every time out the last 4 outings.
I think his command's gotten better steadily, Chip, each and every start, and it really proved that point against Milwaukee his last time out. Pitched into the 8th inning, a lot of gas, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. And when you're cutting down on your walks with his command like he is, with the stuff he has, no wonder he's 3-1. His ERA's come down from the high 5s down to 4.25 now, averaging a strikeout per inning. There's that line against Milwaukee. He'll try to carry that into this start.
Matchup tonight of the young versus the old. And speaking of old, our old friend Tim Hudson. This is where Mike Fultonevich wants to go in his big league career. Tim Hudson, a terrific competitor.
He sure is. Won his 200th career game as an Atlanta Brave. This is his second year with the Giants. Of course, he got a ring last year for the World Champions. He got off to a pretty good start, but lately it's been a rough go for him. There's his numbers with the Giants since he signed with them, but his last start did not get out of the 4th inning against Colorado in a place he hasn't pitched well at Coors Field. So we'll see if the Braves are able to capitalize tonight and somehow push a run across against this Giants staff.
Yeah, 37 consecutive scoreless innings for the Giants. The Braves have been shut out twice on the road trip so far. Hopefully, we'll light a candle for the Braves bats. It's Game 2 of the series. Braves and Giants from AT&T Park. More from the studio with Andre and Nick Green right after this.
beautiful AT&T Park, where the Braves tonight will face former Atlanta great Tim Hudson. And what a difference in a year that a year can make. Just last year, Tim Hudson joined San Francisco, went all the way to a World Series with them, got a ring, something he told us was something he's dreamed about his entire career. Meanwhile, Atlanta's lineup has drastically changed. Only 2 guys in the lineup can be called former teammates of Tim Hudson. That is Freddie Freeman and Andrelton Simmons. But Tim Hudson says regardless, he knows what this entire lineup is capable of, as he's excited to face them for the first time tonight.
You know, there's a few guys in the lineup that I played with, but for the most part, it's a lot of new faces. But you know, it's exciting. You know, obviously, it's great to see some of the the staff over there and some of the guys that I did play with. You know, I'm excited to face them. I didn't get to face them last year, so you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
And Freddie Freeman told us earlier today, when you've played with a guy for a while and you finally get to face him, it's all about who gets the upper hand at the end of the night. He said he'll give Tim Hudson a little smile before his first at-bat and hopefully get back on track at the plate. And hopefully the Braves are smiling at the end of the night tonight. We'll have lineups and first pitch after the break here at AT&T Park.
Low price every day.
A chilly, breezy night in San Francisco. Fans arriving by ferry as we set up Game 2 of the series. The Braves facing Tim Hudson, their former teammate, in Game 2 of 4 here at AT&T Park. Braves offense has to get on track. Atlanta had just 4 hits. They were shut out 7-0 last night. And Freddie Gonzalez's Academy Sports and Outdoors starting lineup has one change. Chris Johnson makes his first start since coming back from the disabled list. In fact, it's Chris's first start since April 30th. And they've got to face a grizzled old veteran and a great guy, Tim Hudson, tonight.
39 years young. He'll be 40 in July. And among active pitchers, first in wins, second in starts to Mark Burley, first in quality starts and ground ball percentage. He's 2-4 with a 5 ERA this year. 216 game winner in his career, 4-time All-Star, but he's getting 0 run support. Average about 2.2 runs per game is the lowest in the National League.
And that's what A.J. Przinsky was talking about after the game last night for the Braves. Aren't too many times you're going to win a game with 0 runs.
I haven't seen one.
No. And Tim Hudson ready to go. Giants in their home orange on Friday nights. Jace Peterson leads off, and we're underway with C.B. Buckner behind the plate.
Yeah, good luck with this one for both pitchers. Be difficult to figure out where the strike zone is, first inning or the 8th.
55 breezy degrees at first pitch. And a broken bat. Belt might have to outrun Peterson, and he just beat him there. Hudson was late breaking to the bag, and on a slide, Brandon Belt erased Jace Peterson on a bang-bang play at first.
Jace jumped around. He's still kind of lingering around first base because he thought he won this race. I don't think he did.
No surprise, Tim Hudson's first out of the game is a ground ball out. When he's right, he gets a ton of ground balls. When he's not right, he gives up early runs. He hasn't given up many first inning runs this year for the Giants. Boy, the ground balls piling up at a furious pace in this Tim's 10th start of the year. He's fired a strike to Cameron Maybin, 0-1.
Last start, he didn't get out of the 4th inning in Colorado. 6 hits, 8 runs.
That's continued a trend for Tim. We saw him have all kinds of trouble pitching at the high altitude at Coors Field, wearing a Braves uniform. But back at sea level tonight, and he's got his first out of the game. Maybin takes a little low. 2 balls and a strike.
High 80s with his fastball, but it's got great movement, excellent sinker. He also has a good cutter and a split finger pitch off his fastball. Curveball and the change.
And that missed inside. 3 balls and a strike. And it's in for a strike. You can tell how windy it is. Just look at the uniform pants of Tim Hudson. The wind just whipping around the legs. Tim's not a big guy. If he's not careful, the wind's going to blow him right off the top of the mound.
6'1", 175 on a good day.
Bouncing ball slowly hit toward third, and an infield hit for Cameron Maybin.
Pitchers know when that happens. I was just watching Tim as that play was developing. Swinging bunt, and Tim kind of turned around and watched Maybin run down the first base line. Said, like, really? Right there.
So Cameron, looking for his 100th career stolen base, will be at first for Freddie Freeman. Got to get him going.
Oh boy, do they ever. Tim's got a good move, quick move.
Last 3 games for Freddie Freeman, 1 hit.
How about this over his last 13 games, dating back to that first game in Miami? 10 for 50 with 20 strikeouts and only 2 extra base hits. That is not Freddie Freeman like.
The Giants shift. He's got Maybin on the run, and Freeman skied it foul out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cameron got a good jump too.
Might see Freddie pull out his entire bag of tricks offensively tonight just to try to jumpstart something for the Braves at the plate.
Well, they've changed their defense already. They've gone to a shift with Crawford moving over on the right side a second, and Duffy playing shortstop.
Maybin has a big lead. Not going this time, and Posey knocked it down. No advance, 2 balls and a strike. Very damp, very chilly, very windy in San Francisco. And as we mentioned last night, they do an amazing job of hosing down the infield dirt. I mean, it's
saturated.
Yes.
Is that the word you were looking for?
No, but that'll that'll work. But Maybin didn't seem to have any trouble breaking from first on his stolen base try. And he's back safely on Hudson's pickoff move.
I mean, that's smart groundskeeping. Visiting team bats first. By the time the home team hits, might be a little drier for your guys.
Could be.
Two-one pitch. Closer play at first.
That's his A move right there. That front foot barely gets turned. Kind of throws around it. And it's quick.
You heard Tim's comments with Christina earlier. I'm sure Tim's got big butterflies tonight. He didn't face the Braves last year. Pros will tell you it's just another game on the schedule, but I'm sure it's a little more than that for Tim. As this ball's bounced to Belt at first, he'll fire to second for one. Throw to first is in time. Double play ground ball from Tim Hudson. Braves are done in the top of the first inning, and Mike Foltynewicz goes to work next. Five-one double play off the bat of Freddie Freeman, much to the delight of Giants skipper Bruce Bochy. The Giants are red hot. They're 20-7 in the month of May, and they have their standard lineup out there in support of Tim Hudson, and they're going to see plenty of heat tonight from Braves righty Mike Foltynewicz.
Take a look at this on our Home Depot tools from the dugout. His pitch arsenal, he's throwing 3 out of 4 pitches with his fastball, and why not when he's throwing in the mid to upper 90s. Slider, curveball, changeup is also part of his arsenal. 3-1, a 4.25 ERA. 23 years old, 6'4", 200 out of Minooka, Illinois. First time he's ever faced the Giants.
And boy, was he good last time out against Milwaukee at home. And his first pitch of the night is up and away. Nori Aoki hitting .326 for San Francisco. You go up and down their lineup. The man in their starting 8 with the lowest batting average is their 8th place hitter. You know why he's hitting 8th? He's only hitting .293 for the Giants. Popped up right side, foul ground. Freeman will give way to Peterson. The wind pushes that into fair territory, and Aoki is retired for the first out.
Let's go to the Ford keys for pitching success for Mike Foltynewicz tonight. Number 1, good command. He's only walked 1 in each of his last 2 starts, which is an improvement over previous starts. And lucky 7. He has struck out 7 batters in each of his last 4 starts. Plus, he worked 7 2/3 innings his last time out against Milwaukee.
Joe Panik is the batter, and that's up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Panik, one of 8 Giants to play second base last year, was called up in late May 22nd, as a matter of fact. And he filled a huge need for San Francisco, and you know the end result. Another world championship, their 3rd in 5 years.
It's interesting to see the Giants dugout. Virtually every guy standing on the rail to watch Mike Foltynewicz pitch for the first time.
High hopper off the plate. Foltynewicz had to wait for gravity, and by the time he could even attempt a play, panic was moving across the first base bag. So the infield hits are even. 1 on, 1 out for Hunter Pence.
Right off the plate. Mike was the only one who's going to have a play there. Hendrickson couldn't have gotten there in time.
Here's 3-time All-Star Hunter Pence. He had a 2-run triple in the 8th inning, or in the 8th inning last night. That was the inning where it got away from the Braves. Giants led 1-0, and the Braves bullpen couldn't keep him there. The pitch to Pence, strike. Former Astros battling here in the bottom of the first.
Freddie Gonzalez being motioned by A.J. Przinsky to move over, move up, where he could see him when he looked in for the signs as to whether or not to pitch out. He couldn't see Freddie.
That's up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, one of the things Mike's had to work on is being a little quicker to the plate with a runner at first, and that slide step, I'll say, is still a bit of a work in progress, so that the runner may not get as good a jump as they had been.
That's hit hard, but foul. The fans battle for the ricochet on Levi's landing. 1-2. We've seen Folty have to settle in a bit. He's had some base runners in the opening inning. He's got one here in San Francisco, and Pence didn't get it. 96-mile-an-hour fastball retires the Giants' right fielder. That was a pretty pitch. 2 out.
Boy, he was late. He was obviously maybe looking for something else. And if you're looking breaking ball and somebody throws 96, that's what you look like. Trying to make it up.
Buster Posey's 27 straight on base streak ended last night with an 0 for 4. He bats with a man at first and 2 outs. And he cracks the first pitch deep toward left. Cunningham on the run. It's gone. Buster Posey's hit a 2-run homer. It's a very happy anniversary for the Giants catcher. His big league debut came 5 years ago today.
Okay, he turned on a nice fastball running in on him. I'm not even sure it was a strike. And Buster doesn't give you time to tell you that coming into the game he was 15 for 25 on first pitches. He's now 16 for 26.
His 8th homer, and the Giants lead 2-0. A rare bit of run support for Tim Hudson. Brandon Belt, the batter. His homer in the 7th put the Giants up 1-0 off Shelby Miller. He hit it the other way. When he hit it, neither you nor I thought that had a chance of getting out of here. But it did.
Outfielders told me that it got up and just kind of flattened out. The wind got it up high enough and it really helped it.
That bounced up there for Belt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last year a miserable year for Brandon other than the World Championship. He was on the disabled list 3 separate times and missed 96 games as a result. And a swing and a miss retires the side. Couple of strikeouts for Foltynewicz, but a first pitch home run for Buster Posey, his 8th of the year. And San Francisco's got 2 in the first for Tim Hudson. debut. And here's a look at the rest of the Giant defense. There's a big roar here because Stephen Curry of the Warriors is in the ballpark tonight. Warriors are in the NBA Finals, and they love this kid here in the Bay Area. There he is. Maybe the Braves can get him in uniform and he can hit a three for us and put us in front.
Good idea.
So Nick Markakis leads things off for the Braves. 2-0 Giants. 38 consecutive scoreless innings pitched by San Francisco in their park. Markakis, Chris Johnson, and A.J. Brzezinski coming up.
Sorry, Chip. Their team record, 48 Giants. 38 innings. So they've tied that.
No homers, 13 RBIs for Nick Markakis. His average holding steady at 306 with a 397 on base. Ground ball toward Panic at second. To his right he goes, and there's the first out.
Good sign for Tim Hudson already. All the outs result of a ground ball. See that lawn patch on the shoulder of the Giants uniforms, a tribute to Lon Simmons, the Hall of Fame broadcaster who passed away a couple of months ago.
Welcome back to the lineup. Chris Johnson disabled after that awkward slide in Atlanta on April 30th against the Reds. Bone bruise of his wrist. Now he's behind quickly, 0-2. That just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Juan Uribe started at third for the Braves last night. Had a second inning hit in his 4 at-bats. And we'll see how Freddie divvies up playing time at the hot corner. Tonight it's Chris Johnson's turn to start, and he scissors one to third. Nice pickup. Duffy with a strong throw and a good play. They like him a lot. That was ripped at the hot corner. 2 outs.
Well, the one thing they keep saying about him is that he's a second baseman playing third base, so he's getting the ball hit to him a lot quicker, including this bolt. So sometimes he gets them in between hops. He's, again, as we said last night, not sure when exactly to charge, but he's a good infielder and shows it right here.
First pitch to AJ is downstairs. Charter member of his fan club sitting right in front of us.
Well, it's nice to know that you got some fans wherever you've played.
AJ was 0 for 3 last night, 3 flyouts. And that's taken low.
And like Freeman, he's been scuffling too. He's 0 for his last 14. But 5 for 18 against Tim in his career. Maybe this will be the tonic to get him going.
Two balls, no strikes. And that just missed. The Giants fans not happy with Brzezinski because he was acquired from the Twins for Francisco Liriano and Joe Nathan. And AJ played just a year here in San Francisco, hitting 27 double plays that season, which is a team record. They were really hoping he would be their long-term answer behind the plate. It was a bad marriage from the start, and he went to the White Sox. Ground ball foul, headed for the Braves dugout, full count. Base is empty, 2 outs for A.J. Pierzynski. 2-0 Giants. And Pierzynski pops it up deep short. Crawford going out, still going out, and he makes an over-the-shoulder catch. Brandon Crawford with a marvelous grab takes away a hit from A.J. Pierzynski, and the Braves are out in order in the top of the second. Hudson was asked about Crawford versus Simmons. Who'd you pick if you had to? And he said, it's a dead heat. Well, a play like this makes you understand why he thinks that way.
Look how far he went for that ball. How very Anderson Simmons of him. Our Toyota key play of the game. No way Aoki was going to get there, but Crawford made the play.
So 2 excellent defensive plays by the Giants in the second, and how about that? Look who leads off.
He's a good player. Look at his average. Much improved hitter.
And a strike from Foltynewicz.
From the very start of his career, left-handed starters didn't matter. He played. He was batting 8th usually in the lineup. And his defense was what was important, and as time has gone on, he's gotten better and better as a hitter.
And he goes the other way. Turned around an 88-mile-an-hour pitch. And that's the 3rd Giants hit, and his 3rd hit of the series. So Foltynewicz back to the stretch immediately here in the 2nd inning.
Let her high. Allowed him to get his arms extended on that. This field, I mean, I know they watered it down, as you said, on the dirt, Chip, but it seems really fast. When that ball hit in the outfield right there, it almost skipped by Todd Cunningham. Fortunate for him to be able to cut it off. It scoots.
Angel Pagan is the Giants center fielder. Runner at first, nobody out. And a strike. Another windy night. And look out at McCovey Cove.
Sailboats are coming in.
And upstairs. I could just see Judge Smales now. His wife, the champagne bottle. I christened thee the Flying Wasp. One ball, 1 strike. Those boats are at anchor. There's some really pretty boats. A sail. A little bit beyond the harbor that's in left field. Covey Cove, one of the great features of AT&T Park. Outside right field. 2 balls and a strike. And downstairs, 3-1. There we go.
Heartily.
You know what the captain said on that boat, don't you?
Heartily.
Or it's easy to grin. Oh, man, that thing's about to go over. Oh! Look at that boat, man.
I know. They got it balanced, man. They got the people sitting on the edge. Got it covered. That's the fun part.
Little roller that's knocked down by Peterson, and his throw to first late. He had a lot of ground to cover. Made a great play to keep it on the infield, but Pecan has an infield single and 2 on with nobody out.
And batting left-handed, when he gets fooled and kind of rolls over one like this, he's already moving toward first base. He's going to be hard to throw out. He gets down the line so quick. Good play by Jace.
So here's Matt Duffy. There were some who thought the Giants might be on the market for a third baseman. Well, with Pablo Sandoval now a Boston Red Sox and Casey McGee ineffective at third, Duffy's taking care of that. Third among National League rookies in average, RBIs, and multi-hit games. And he's knocked in 22 runs. We've already seen him make a good defensive play at third. 1 ball, no strikes.
It's hard to think that they would be looking real hard for another third baseman the way he's playing.
Up the middle, Simmons got a hop off the mound, and his throw to first turns into a double play. So Crawford to third, Duffy's doubled up, and now Folty a chance to get out of it if he can retire Tim Hudson.
That was not an easy hop for Anderson to play, given that it had skipped off the mound. He got a little bit of an in-between, but still handled it.
Got to watch out for Tim Hudson, though. He will ambush if you're not careful. Joe mentioned Tim got his 200th win as a Brave. It was a Little League game.
American Legion. That's what he called it.
That's right. It was.
American Legion
game.
Throw a shutout, hit a homer.
That was on April 13th, 2013. April 30th, I beg your pardon. April 30, 2013. 1 ball, 1 strike. A little late there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Mike's been up with his fastball some too, even to the pitcher there. He wasn't happy with that location.
That one buzzed in under the hands of Hudson. He didn't get it, and Foltynewicz pitches out of trouble in the 2nd inning. He's due third in the 3rd. The Giants lead 2-0 at home. Inning number 3. We told you about Tim Hudson's 200th career win. Let's flash back to April of 2013.
Against the Nats. And this was the home run, opposite field. Bryce Harper crashing into the wall. Ball went off his glove and over the fence.
Tim now the #1 active wins leader in Major League Baseball with 216 of them. And the man that gets scant run support has 2 to play with after 2 innings. Todd Cunningham swings at the first pitch and skies one to left. And that's an easy play for Aoki.
Well, the wind's picked up again, too.
One man down. Here's Andrelton Simmons. Simmons, another Brave whose bat has cooled off. 13 hits in his last 17 games and a 197 average. And we knew that was the challenge on this road trip. You've got the Dodgers and their terrific pitching. Now you've got San Francisco. And the Giants have thrown 4 straight shutout games.
You mentioned the Dodgers pitching. Did you hear the rumor circulating now about the Dodgers getting Aroldis Chapman?
Really? No balls at a strike. Check swing. That's out of play. They've already got Kenley Jansen. I don't think he's blown a save yet.
No.
And they're losing tonight in St. Louis. The Cardinals are leading that ball game 3-0. The Giants start play tonight a half game behind Los Angeles in the National League West. I wonder if the Dodgers would send Kenley Jansen back to Cincinnati.
Just a rumor. Don't know.
One ball, 2 strikes for Simmons. And that's low, says C.B. Buckner. It's 2-2.
Andrelton's one of the guys in the lineup that's swinging the bat pretty well, and certainly better for him. He's hit in 6 straight, 5 for his last 15 on the road trip.
Full count. Foltynewicz on deck. Base is empty. That's pulled foul at third. Washington was in Cincinnati tonight. The Reds beat them 5-2. Bad news for the Nationals. Steven Strasburg threw 16 pitches and had to leave the game. No explanation was given as to why the Nationals right-hander had to depart. He did have some issue behind his shoulder blade about 3 weeks ago. And a base hit for Simmons with 1 out. And he's aboard in front of Foltynewicz.
I'm not sure what that pitch was, but it was up and in on Andrelton, running in on him, and he was able to fight it off through the hole.
Mike put some extra work in the hitting cage yesterday with Kevin Seitzer. Let's see if he can help himself. He's already got a couple of hits and 3 RBIs. Strike 1. And now Bo Porter wants to talk things over. Maybe Mike missed a sign.
It's not too often your third base coach comes down to say, that was not a real good check swing, swing harder. So yes, good chance of that.
He showed bunt and took a high strike. It's 0-2. Braves are averaging less than 2 runs a game over the last week. They've been shut out twice on the road trip. They don't have a run yet in this game. And Folty stabbed at that pitch and is struck out. First punch out for Tim Hudson. Runner at first for the top of the order, and Jace Peterson, who had his bat broken in the opening inning. Jace is 1 for 5 in the series. And Buster Posey, as he does so well, really manages the tempo of his starting pitcher. Let's slow the pace a moment. He's ready for Hudson's first pitch instead of pickoff at first. Colorado beat the Phillies tonight. Chad Bettis lost a no-hit bid for the Rockies on a Cody Ashe hit in the bottom of the 8th inning at Citizens Bank Park. But the Rockies picked up a win. They haven't had many of those, only their 20th of the year. Phillies fall to 19-31 for the season. Miami beat the Mets tonight 4-3 the final at Citi Field.
I think that was Harvey.
He gave up a ton of runs in his last start. And it was Dan Herron and Matt Harvey. Harvey gave up 7 runs in 4 innings last time out. And snaps the Mets' 3-game win streak. 1 ball, no strikes. Peterson cracks that one up the middle of base hit. Simmons around second. He'll make the turn and head to third. And the Braves have a 2-out rally working here in the 3rd inning.
Always seems to happen this way after you don't get a bunt down. You know, the pitcher's over there. In this case, Fulton David's kicking himself for not getting the job done. And the next guy follows with a clean single that might have driven in a run. But maybe can bring one or both of them in.
Cameron had a dribbler down the 3rd baseline for the first Braves hit of the night. And his first hit of the series. Off Hudson's glove, deflected to Crawford. Bare hand throw to first. Ball dropped by Belt. And the Braves get their first run. Almost a miraculous play for the Giants. But Maben brings home Simmons, and the Giants' lead is cut in half, and that ends the San Francisco home shutout streak.
How about that? I thought it had a chance to get up the middle until Tim deflected it, and then it looked like it went right to Crawford, who made a great barehanded stab. And that was not a tough one to handle for Belt. It was a short hop, but it was a short hop.
So the Braves are on the board. Let's see if that takes some of the pressure off the offense. Freeman hitting a double play his first time up. Great chance for Freddie. He swings the first pitch, rolls it out to Panic, and from the outfield grass throws a strike to first. The Braves cash in 3 hits and score their first run. It's now a 2-1 Giants game. Game Wednesday, June 10th for a free post-game concert presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. VIP field and backstage passes are now available. Get your tickets now at Braves.com/concerts.
Have we figured out what the XCX stands for?
I have less than no idea.
Okay.
Unless it's 90, 99 or something like that.
Well, X would be
XC would be 90, so, right?
I don't know. I'm just going with X is 10. I just thought maybe her name was like, her name is really Charlie XCX. So they just kind of shortened it.
Could be. I don't know. That's under the chin of Aoki. Fultonevich facing the top of the order. Now down just 1 run. A ball and 2 strikes for the former Yakult Swallow, Norichika Aoki.
Boy, with this guy up and Fulte pitching, Joe Panic on deck's got to be heads up. He is in harm's way over there. That one went just above him off the screen. That check swing. Well, or the late swing.
Eight o'clock as Fulte turns it loose and pops it out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Aoki entered this series with the 6th best batting average in the National League. He's now up to 326. And that's still good for 6th. Bouncing ball to 3rd. Chris Johnson's first chance. And we've got the answer to your question. Christina is a big pop music fan.
Is she? Okay.
Christina, what's the deal with Charlie XCX?
Yeah, I thought I'd give you guys a little lesson in pop culture while I'm sitting down here. Charlie XCX means Charlie, or Kiss Charlie Kiss. So the X's are not Roman numerals. They stand for a kiss, as in a hug and a kiss. XOOX, same thing. Get it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Wow, thanks.
Anytime.
Joe Panic takes a strike. It's 0-1. So isn't that kind of redundant? Charlie Kiss, Charlie Kiss. I mean, looked over first and foul in the Braves bullpen. Now, Christina, what's her big hit? What's her big song? What's the hook? What makes her such a popular singer? Well,
the one that I am aware of, she was in a song with Iggy Azalea. Are you guys familiar with that rapper?
Yeah. My favorite. That's #1 on my playlist.
Oh, I knew that. I saw that on your iPad last time you were running in the gym.
Yeah,
so she did a collaboration with her. She's a UK singer-songwriter, so she's got a couple hits out there right now, too. But I think it's going to draw a good crowd. Everybody should get tickets. She's a good performer.
Yeah, it should be fun.
You guys will be in the front row, won't you?
I'll play a medley of her hit on my iPod anytime.
Got it.
I was just thinking about maybe calling Freeman Freddie HFH.
Standing for?
Hug Freddie Hug.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
we might have something there.
Little ground ball to second off bat.
Hey, this is big stuff down there, Christine.
You know what?
I don't just make it up.
We are solving pressing questions in a 2-1 game. We go to the 4th. Brewers trivia question. Tonight is Tim Hudson's 284th career National League start. That's 4th most among all active pitchers. Who has the most National League starts among active hurlers working today? Mark Burley. No, that's not right. He's in the American League.
Active. Huh. Bartolo Colon was in the American League a lot.
Right.
Not him.
Ball one to Dick Markakis. A.J. Burnett.
Let's see where that first guy went to.
Yeah.
I don't know that Cole Hamels has been around long enough. Tim's from Salem, Alabama. That's where he grew up. Played his Little League ball over in Phoenix City, Alabama. Went to Auburn. All-American there and a 6th round pick of the A's in '97.
2-0 for Markakis. And there's a strike. Tim's been around a long time, quite obviously, but it's funny. He's now pitched for 3 big league clubs: the Giants, the Braves, and the A's. Beaten everybody in baseball but the A's and the Braves. And he's leading Atlanta tonight 2-1 in the top of the 4th. And that just missed. 3 balls and a strike. Had to be an incredibly gratifying moment for Tim Hudson to receive his World Series ring after all the years he pitched in the big leagues, all the big games he's pitched. As this one's out to second, Markakis got jammed and he's the first out.
Cutter got him.
Markakis with a couple of ground outs to second, 1 man down. Always a special ceremony when a team is rewarded for a championship season the year before.
That didn't look like a cutter. That looked more just like a 2-seamer that started in and came back and still got his handle.
Chris Johnson with a sinking strike. It's 0-1. He bounced one off the chest of Matt Duffy at third base.
We smoked it, hit it hard.
And strike 2 to the Braves third baseman, Chris Johnson. That just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got to figure Chris's timing's not quite where he'd like it to be. 1 rehab at bat. And another chance at third. Duffy got a good hop, took a look at the baseball, and threw a strike to first for the second out. A lot of ground ball outs from Tim Hudson, as you'd expect. And with 2 away, time for our Cold Hard Fact presented by Coors Light.
And this covers the Braves' last 7 games. They've gone 3-4. That's not altogether awful, 3-4, but look at the offense. 1.6 runs, a 189 average, and a lot of strikeouts. The strikeouts have really been mounting after being one of the tops in the leagues in the league in fewest strikeouts. Only 1 tonight.
Downstairs to Brzezinski. Yeah, this is really an extended stretch with the Braves offensively. Look a lot like last year's team. Not much power, not much contact.
Well, with one exception, there is no power compared to last year during this stretch. But that's not surprising. We didn't expect that.
Right. 1 ball, no strikes for AJ. I'll put it in perspective for you. Coming into play tonight, the Braves team has hit 10 homers this month. Bryce Harper of the Nationals has hit 13. So this team has to make contact. They have to put the ball in play. They have to move runners up. If they're going to be a productive offensive club. And Brzezinski skies one out of play. It's strike one to A.J. Brzezinski. Pops behind second. Panic goes out. Pence called him off at the last instant. Made a basket catch. And that retires the side in the Atlanta fourth. Posey, Belton, Crawford are coming up for the Giants. They enjoy a 2-1 lead on Buster Posey's first inning homer.
AT&T Uverse, Delta Airlines, and your local Ford dealer.
There's the beautiful Golden Gate Bridge. Some of our crew decided to go bicycling across the Golden Gate today. A chilly morning to do that, but still a spectacular view.
I bet it was breezy and chilly this morning on that bridge.
It was.
No sun. A foggy dew.
So we come back inside AT&T Park. This is Buster Posey, who went yickety in the first inning. That was one of the funnier moments when we had the Chipper Jones number retirement ceremony. All the stars around Major League Baseball congratulating him. I thought Buster Posey's deadpan tape was perfect. As he's out number one, Fultonevich got him for the first down. Here it is. Watch this.
Well, I once said the word yickety in a Little League game, and my dad told me never to use that word again.
That was back when Chipper was saying, you know, he went mammo, and the other guy went yickety and all that stuff. And Buster just wore him out. It was great. And a swing and a miss by Brandon Belt. Here's Fulte now. He's down a run and settling in.
Yeah, after giving up that home run in the first. Even pitched around a couple of second inning singles, got a double play.
In the air to center. Does Maben see it? Yeah, he does. And there's out number two.
I wasn't sure either. There he's letting Cunningham know that he had a hard time picking it up.
And here's Brandon Crawford. Crawford had a hit the other way, and the Giants second. Pagan followed with an infield hit. Duffy hit into a double play, and Hudson struck out. That's when Fulte got back on the beam. He's now retired 7 straight. A ground ball to first should be easy, and it is. Easy inning for Mike Fultonevich. He's getting the ball on the ground. He's retired 8 straight, and the Braves look to tie it up next.
Stuff, low price every day.
One of the remarkable things that AT&T Park has done for the China Basin area is completely and totally refashion this part of town. This was not a happy place to be at night before this ballpark was built 15, 16 years ago.
No siree, Bob.
As Todd Cunningham leads off for the Braves, he's the 7th place hitter and tries to bunt and pushes it foul. You cannot believe the amount of construction, the condos, the apartments, the houses, the restaurants, bars that have popped up right down the street from AT&T Park.
All the commercial stuff that's come in with the stores and boutiques and what have you. And I had a guy tell me today whose parents are actually in real estate. He goes, man, I wish I was a dummy. I wish I'd have bought a couple of places down here as they were building all these condos because they're hard to get now.
Got a rail line that goes right by the ballpark. The trolley cars are very convenient for the fans. Mass transit readily available for the folks who live on this side of the bay. They've got the ferry boats obviously outside. We saw fans getting off the boats to make the trek into the ballpark. And it really is a festive atmosphere here. These fans, as Cunningham is called out on strikes, these fans are loyal, they are passionate, they are loud, they are young, they are excited, and they have been rewarded with 3 championships in 5 years. And it's the toughest ticket in town to get. They're working on their 352nd consecutive sellout tonight. Cunningham's retired in the 5th. Here's Andrelton Simmons. He scored the lone Braves run back in the 3rd inning. A little bloop over first is going to drop in for a hit. Pence gets to it quickly, and Simmons will stop at first. The old home of the Giants was Candlestick Park, and Candlestick Park is currently under demolition.
Little hanger there from Hudson allowed Andrelton to adjust to it, hit it off the end of the bat, but a perfect Ric Flair to right. He's 2 for 2.
Fultonevich couldn't get down a bunt back in the 3rd. 2 hits followed. The Braves settled for just 1 run. He stabbed at that one and missed it. Strike 1.
Leave the bat out there. Put the bat out in front of you with your elbows bent. Catch the ball with the bat. Just catch the ball like you would with your glove. Catch it with your bat. Don't hold the bat back and then stab at it like you're swinging at it.
And as a National League pitcher, this is an area where Mike has to improve. He does not yet have a sacrifice this year.
Watch him pull the bat back right there and then stab at it. He changed the angle of the barrel of the bat and then tried to punch at it. You got to leave it out there.
Mike has struck out 8 times. He's way behind here, 0-2. And down he goes. 3rd strikeout for Hudson. Runner at first. And now 2 out.
And the reason you got to get better at it is because you're helping yourself. You're trying to help offensively by making a constructive out. He'll get it. He'll get better at it.
See if Peterson can pick him up. Jay Single back in the 3rd inning. Simmons at first, now 2 outs. And Posey a nice stop. 1 ball, no strikes. You can see the lights of the Oakland Coliseum across the water. The A's are home to the Yankees tonight, beating New York 4-0. Pitch from Tim Hudson is taken low. Ball 2. Kansas City beat the Cubs in interleague play today. That game was at Wrigley Field. Cardinals have finished off the Dodgers 3-0. Pirates are in San Diego leading 2-0. Here it's 2-1 Giants. Braves are up in the 5th. And bouncing ball to Belt. He'll take it away before the 2nd hop. And that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Bottom of the order up for the Giants, who lead by a run. The 5th inning. Mike Foltynewicz gave up a 2-run homer to Buster Posey with 2 outs in the 1st inning. And this matchup of experience and youth has been a very good game so far.
I love these stats. I love these comparisons when you've got a rookie and a grizzled veteran like this, and you just think about, they're pitching in the same game at the same level. And what a difference in experience between Tim and Mike. One guy near the end of his career and another guy just starting. I love that.
Makes you wonder, well, how did Tim Hudson do in his first big league year? he did really, really good stuff. Tim's first year in Oakland, 1999, he went 11-2. 2000 season, 20-6.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he came out of the chute in great shape with the Oakland A's. And pitched great as an Atlanta Brave. Tim won 113 games in a Braves uniform.
I remember a time in the Braves lounge. Players were watching an Oakland A's game, and Chipper was one of the guys watching. And he goes, boy, this Hudson guy's got some kind of changeup. Which was really his pitch of choice, his out pitch in those days, that split finger pitch that served as a changeup for him. And it still serves him well.
That was one of the best trades the Braves ever made. Atlanta got Tim Hudson before the 2005 season for Juan Cruz, Dan Meyer, and Charles Thomas. None of those three other pitchers did nearly as much as Tim Hudson did. And a comebacker to Fultonevich. Take your time, Mike. He did, and got Pagan on a comebacker. One out.
Juan Cruz. John Smoltz called him the lawn dart.
And here's Duffy. That's a great nickname. 52 pitches for Fultonevich. That's an untalked about area of improvement for Mike. I think his efficiency's been really, really noteworthy.
Yeah, he was just laboring his first couple of starts, just trying to strike everybody out, not wanting to give in and pitch to contact. And little by little, he realized, you know what, they're not making real good contact against me when I do throw a strike.
After all, he's a starting pitcher, not a starting thrower. Maybe a subtle difference, but I think he's pitching instead of heaving it as hard as he can every time. And when he needs that, he's got it at 99 miles an hour.
There you go.
Duffy had no chance. 10 in a row.
Once in a while, when he gets ahead like that, he does kind of tell you that it's coming. He'll make a little bit bigger turn and a little bit more of a pause before here comes the express.
I think that's the best fastball he's thrown all year.
I agree. I think so too.
So Hudson bats, base is empty, 2 outs for Tim, and he turned that one around.
Oh, Tim.
Fouled it off.
Get the barrel out there. Pretty good hitter at Auburn. All SEC. Making a face down there. I think of Chris Johnson.
One ball, 2 strikes. And Hudson bounces it towards Simmons to his right. And a low throw. And Freeman saved him throwing error to end the 5th inning. Fultonevich is set down 11 straight.
this year. You know, after this year, we'll cross those lines after this year. I'm probably definitely leaning towards going home. You know, but at the same time, you never know what can happen.
And that was us talking to Tim Hudson earlier today when we asked him just where he is in his career coming off of that World Series last year. He said it was something he's dreamt about his entire career. He's been very blessed to have a long and somewhat healthy career, but he's looking at turning 40 this year, guys, a great career, and he's actually considering what he might do next. Anything could happen, but he talked about maybe going back home.
Yeah, Christina, his kids are getting a little older. He misses being around them, you know, until school's out. They just arrived here in San Francisco yesterday, Kim and the kids. So I know he's getting tugged that way.
And look, let's face it,
because he doesn't want to miss anymore.
Yeah, I mean, 200-plus wins. He's pitched at the playoffs. He's pitched in the World Series. He's got his ring. And his legacy in the game is very much secure. But I'm sure that's, for any player, an agonizing decision. Because you know what you have to do. Your family obviously comes first, but there's always that tug of what you want to do, and that's still prove that you can go out and compete.
And you want to go out on a good note. And, you know, if Tim's ERA hangs around 5 the rest of the year, I'm sure that'll help him make his decision, too.
Pop fly out of play.
But if he's pitching at a high level, then it may require some reconsideration. Keep in mind, too, that he had surgery on that reconstructed ankle, I think in January, for some bone chips, bone spurs. So he was a little slow coming around in spring training, and just now really feeling like he is pitching like he should. And this is his 10th start.
1-2 pitch is fouled away. But how gratifying it had to be when PA announcer announced Tim Hudson's name, and he runs onto the field before a packed house. He gets handed his ring, and his manager Bruce Bochy embraces him and says, "Thanks for everything." And that'll be as good as it gets. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Cameron Maben, and that just missed inside. Posey held it there for a second. First questionable call of the night from C.B. Buckner behind the plate.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Cameron was doing there, if he was just losing his balance or if he was heading to the dugout. PNC Bank box track shows it was a strike, and then Cameron started walking, but it wasn't called a strike.
No swing.
Every pitcher in any series, when they see the umpiring quartet and they see C.B. Buckner's in the quartet, they immediately try to figure out if he's behind the plate when they're pitching.
Here's the 8th pitch, and it's popped to the right side. Belt on the run. He won't have a play.
And C.B. Buckner's a nice guy, but you just don't know what you're going to get every time he's behind the plate.
So Maben with a good at bat start the Braves 6th. He's got a couple of hits. And here's the 9th pitch to him. And that's fouled straight back. Bust Posey. Doesn't put a sign down until he's ready to give it. And it was the right side. Maben's down swinging. And here's the ultimate moment for Tim Hudson in the big leagues.
Highway, honey. Thanks for everything, man.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And Freeman, a one-hop shot to second. He's been hitting the ball in the shift for 2 weeks. And he's 0 for 3.
And really, if there's a pitcher that you can think about trying to inside out some pitches or maybe hitting the other way, it would be Tim Hudson. Not likely that he's going to make a mistake to you down and in or even belt tying in. All the movement Tim can create on his fastball.
Nick Markakis is grounded out to second twice. He takes strike one. Two for the Giants in the first, 1 run for the Braves in the third. Hudson and Fulton-Nevich. And a ground ball to Belt at first. He'll take it to the bag himself, and Hudson's wearing out the infield grass. Another ground ball out. Sends this game to the home sixth, where the Giants look to extend their lead. Aoki is our T-Mobile game changer.
A lot of good numbers for him offensively this year. 6th best average, 2nd most hits in the National League. On base all the time as the leadoff man for the Giants. Quite a pickup for them.
San Francisco signed him to a 1-year contract with a club option next year after he played in Kansas City last season. And I can't help but think it must be a much more comfortable place for him to play rather than Milwaukee and Kansas City. As you know, this is a great international city. There's a very, very large Asian population here in San Francisco. And for a man who lives in Tokyo, it's a lot closer to home for his family, too. Certainly looks comfortable in a Giants uniform. And he takes high, ball 3. Aoki, the 5th Japanese-born player to play for the Giants. And he just earned a leadoff walk. And he can run, too. He's got 11 steals. And that snaps Mike's 11 straight retired streak. And Joe Panik, the hitter.
First walk of the night. Gotta love his name, don't you?
Panik?
Yeah, I mean, just Joe Panik. His family, his parents had named him Gary. This wouldn't have quite the same feel, would it?
No. He's out of Hopewell Junction, New York. It's about an hour north of New York City. Played shortstop through high school and college. Started at shortstop during 3 years at St. John's, where he maintained a 3.8 grade point average. Majored in financial management. And back to the screen foul. It's 0-2. He had to be a tough kid because growing up in New York, he said his favorite player was Wade Boggs. Oh. And then Derek Jeter came along, and that changed that.
Okay.
For Joe Panic. 24 years young. And that went way high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Panic an infield hit, scored ahead of Posey's first inning homer. Popped up. Brzezinski is there and makes the play. Almost stepped on his catcher's mask. Maybe he did. And the wind wreaks havoc on those high pop-ups, but A.J. hung with it and got his man for the first out. Nope, he didn't.
Able to dance around it.
And here's the praying mantis, Hunter Pence. He came off the DL May 16th, and the Giants have taken off. They're 12-2 since the 15th of May. Giants have won 20 games this month. They're 9 over 500 after starting the year. Losers of 9 of their first 12 games. And they were really struggling in the first 2 weeks. Funny what one guy can do for your entire lineup.
But as soon as they picked him up 3 years ago, remember he was leading cheers in the dugout when they made their comeback and beat the Reds in the division series. And from that point forward, I mean, this is Buster Posey's team, but boy, oh boy, is this guy the cheerleader. They missed having him on the field, leading by example, as well as keeping everybody stirred up in the dugout. He's exciting. You always wonder what's going to happen next.
Is there a more unorthodox hitter in your mind in the National League than this guy?
I mean, Craig Counsell had that squirrely pretzel batting stance when he played. I mean, he made it work for him. This guy's so strong, and he seems tense and tight and stiff, but he's got tremendous bat speed.
1-2 pitch in the air, well hit toward Markakis, and Nick at the edge of the track will make the play. And there's out number 2. Told you last night, Hunter Pence as a kid was into power tumbling. It's gymnastics, and it kept him loose and limber and flexible. And that power has translated into his major league career.
Plus, he's a free spirit, and if there's anything San Francisco likes, it's free spirits.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes to and from the ballpark on a scooter, or did, some kind of Vespa type scooter. I don't know what it was, but somebody stole it. That's right, last year, and they've got all kinds of major crimes going on in the city, but the police department was looking for Hunter's scooter. And he said, hey, if you just bring it back, no harm, no foul, just bring it back, no charges. And they did get it back for
They did.
him. Yeah, it was, the town was on edge.
That scooter named Jimmy.
Yeah.
Was returned to its rightful owner. Bouncing ball off the bat of Posey. And the flip to second is in time. They are dancing in the streets in San Francisco with the Giants' great play. Hunter Pence styling in San Fran as the Giants lead 2-1 after 6. Been struggling before this start against the Braves, but he's doing what he normally does, get the ball on the ground.
55% of his outs have come from ground balls. That's 5th in the National League. Well, he's done a little better than that tonight. He's kept the ball down. He made a mistake to Andrelton earlier, up and in, that just went for a single, but otherwise he's been sharp.
As Johnson took a strike, he's bounced out to third, second, and again in the fourth. It's getting late in San Francisco. Moral victory for the Braves. They snapped the Giants' long shutout streak at AT&T Park, but they're still down a run. And that's off the plate for an even count. Another chance for Duffy. That was another rocket. And the throw to first gets Chris for a third time tonight.
Top of the heap among active pitchers for ground ball outs and their percentage. Adam Wainwright might be watching tonight from St. Simon's. Hope he's recuperating nicely from his Achilles surgery.
Sharply hit. Another ground ball out right at Brandon Belt. 2 men out. In between innings, they had the kiss cam here in San Francisco. I think I called him Stephen Curry earlier. It's Steph Curry, of course. His whole family's in the front row, including his dad, Dell. Boy, his dad was a great three-point shooter back when I was doing the NBA games with the Charlotte Hornets.
So pretty good three-point genes, is that what you're telling me?
Man, I wouldn't want to play horse with those guys. You have no chance. And hats off to the Warriors and their coach, Steve Kerr. They're really fired up about their basketball team out here.
There was talk at one time that they might build them an arena over here near this stadium. Move to San Francisco.
But the real estate a little too pricey. And Hudson is through 7 innings, 13 ground ball outs. He leads 2-1, and there he is. Love is in the air here at AT&T Park. The #1 app for live baseball. Advantage up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or your tablet. Beautiful night. Chilly night. And the Braves bats cold once again. Tim Hudson's held us to a run on 5 hits. He's gotten 13 ground outs. Foltynewicz, a first pitch to Buster Posey, ended up in the seats in the first inning. After that, he's been marvelous. He's retired 13 of 14 hitters. The only interruption was the walk in the 6th inning to Aoki. He was erased on a ground ball out. There's Brandon Belt.
Well, Mike's doing all he can do, and that is hold him right there and try to give the offense a chance, and he's done a great job of that. Pitching like a seasoned Tim Hudson.
That one got away from Przinsky. He can't find it, and that'll bounce by the Braves on deck circle, and Belt will reach on a strikeout and a wild pitch.
That ball bounced so high in the air that AJ's looking around for it on the ground, and it was in the air. It was still in the air. And even the big first baseman could reach on that one.
So man at first for Brandon Crawford. Fultonevich, 6 strikeouts. Remember, he struck out 7 men in each of his last 4 starts. And the Braves bullpen is going to begin to work.
That's Luis Avilan, of course. The bullpens here, with them being in foul territory down the lines, you got to do it the old-fashioned way. You got to have the guy warming up. You got to have the catcher, of course, and you got to have somebody to protect the catcher who's got his back to home plate.
I actually like the bullpens that way. Maybe in the minority. You want to save a few moments off the time of game. Pitchers in relief are certainly a lot closer there than behind the fences. But they were an afterthought here. They forgot about bullpens when this park was built. So they had to scramble and put them in foul territory. 0-2 for Crawford. And he struck out over the inside corner. That's lucky 7 for Fultonevich. Second strikeout of the inning, but only the first out.
There is no pitch when you have 2 strikes on you either side. Doesn't matter. There's no pitch that you can take, assuming it's a ball in CB Buckner's umpiring. Every pitch is too close to take.
I think you could read Bruce Bochy's lips. He thought that call was bad. Fulte will take it, though. Here's Pagan. The Giants bullpen begins to work.
Ooh. Almost got him.
It's Hunter Strickland beginning to loosen, and I'm told he has a big fastball. Popped out of play by Andrew Pagan. They haven't changed the scoreboard yet. They still show Crawford's up there, and they show an 0-2 count. Whoa, late time called. Fultonevich must not have seen Przinsky raise the right hand. And Pagan's looking at the scoreboard, saying, hey, that's not me, and that's not the count, is it? I think he was confused by what he saw in center.
Snafus like that happen everywhere.
Well, at least the count matches. It's now 0-2. Little pop behind third. Long run, Cunningham, and he'll get there. That's in fair territory. And Pagan is out, number 2.
Boy, the Braves had that sniffed out defensively. Cunningham shading Pagan near the line. That would have normally been trouble, but he had him played shallow, and over there was an opposite field hitter left-handed. I guess just figuring nobody's getting around on Fultonevich, might as well shade him to the opposite field.
And here's Duffy. Duffy's hit into a double play and struck out. And a good stop by Przinsky. It's ball 1. We talk all the time about how no major league game is alike. But the way this one's shaping up, if this score holds, we're going to have a 1-run game going to the 8th inning with the 8 and 9 hitters coming up for the Braves. And Miller last night and Fultonevich pitching great.
Yeah.
And a tough decision for Freddie Gonzalez perhaps to make. And a base hit to left will spell the end of the night for Tim Hudson. As Duffy has his first hit of the night. Belt will stop at second. And San Francisco will go to its bench. Gregor Blanco will be announced. We'll see if Fult's allowed to face him. He's looking in at the Atlanta dugout.
Pitchers due up second in the 8th, but Fult's pitched so well. I don't think I'd be in any big rush to get him out of the game. And it's just going to be a visit from Roger McDowell, it looks like.
And that was the tough call for Freddie Gonzalez last night. The Braves aren't scoring runs, and he felt that his best chance was to take Shelby Miller out of the ball game. Miller had 1 hit in 19 tries all year. Go to his bench with Siriaco, advance a runner he hoped, and then pinch hit for Jace Peterson. His ace in the hole was Johnny Gomes, and he thought if the Giants bring in a left-hander, he had Gomes waiting on the bench with a chance with 1 swing of the bat to change the game. Unfortunately, Johnny struck out, and that was really the last chance Atlanta had to score.
Well, one of the things you have to take in consideration here is if you do bring in a left-hander to pitch to Blanco, then who does Bochy have on the bench? And one of the guys he has over there, a couple of guys actually that are pretty good pinch hitters, Joaquin Arias right-handed and Justin Maxwell right-handed. And I'm just thinking that Freddie liked this matchup better than the other. I do too.
So it's Blanco with 2 on and 2 out. And strike 1 for Gregor Blanco. Remember, Fultonevich got the first out of the inning, but it was a wild pitch that bounced away on a strikeout, and that's what allowed Belt to reach first base.
Great job by Hudson tonight.
Nine o'clock in Frisco. The 2-1 pitch. Bouncing ball, foul. That's headed to the pen. And Fult's ahead of Gregor Blanco, 0-2.
See, this is something Fultonevich was unable to do in his first couple of starts. Not surprising, nerves being what they are, pitching at a higher level to better hitters. But boy, he's gotten so much better at getting ahead and then getting outs once he gets ahead and not having to go to deep counts to get it done.
Out of play, foul. Something else to factor in the decision-making process for Freddie Gonzalez. He has Avalon in the bullpen. Left-handers are hitting .265 against Luis. Right-handers are hitting .167.
Well, I know he's thrown 90 pitches, and the last one was at 98. He hadn't lost anything.
No. And that's what I like about this guy. He's got sustainable upper 90s stuff, and that plays. 0-2 count. Look out.
99.
after a start like this, it's always fun to talk to the opposing team, and we will tomorrow and get their impressions of Mike Foltynewicz's outing against the Giants. See if he can finish the 7th with a flourish. He's way ahead of Gregor Blanco. 2 on, 2 out. And that one's way high.
Stay with it. Stay with that fastball. Don't speed up his bat by throwing the breaking ball and running the risk of making a mistake with it. He threw him a breaking ball already, and he hit it hard foul, pulled it. He knows this is his last inning, so he's putting everything, all the mustard he can into that fastball.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Something else to think about. These are learning experiences for Foltynewicz. How do you pitch when you're deep into a game? How do you handle trouble? How do you handle the pressure of facing your last hitter? All these little lessons are things that he can compile and go back and draw upon later this season and beyond.
Now just go back to your fundamentals here, though, and try not to overthrow. Try not to throw at 99. To get it over.
That one is cut on and missed, and that one's going to roll to the Giants on deck circle. He's got 3 strikeouts in the inning, but 2 Giants runners have reached on wild pitches. And that's going to be the final pitch of the game for Foltynewicz.
That's a shame. He did go to the breaking ball, but it scoots off the glove of Przinski. All hands safe into the night on his 8th strikeout.
Mike Foltynewicz threw another terrific ball game tonight. Buster Posey's 2-run homer, the only blemish, and he departs for Luis Avilan. David Justice bobblehead night. The San Diego Padres will be in town. The first 20,000 guests at Turner Field will receive the David Justice bobblehead doll. Go to Braves.com/tickets for more information.
Great outing. Again, settled in after what has become kind of his typical first inning issues. But really pitched a good ball game. 1 walk again, this time 8 strikeouts. Leaves with the bases loaded, and 2 of those guys reached on strikeouts.
Yeah, I was going to say, he got 4 outs in the inning. And the inning's not over. Bases are loaded for Nori Aoki. And Luis Avilan is the man facing him here in the San Francisco 7th.
Strike on a foul ball out of play. Braves outfielders Leaves Cunningham and Maben shading Aoki near the line and shallow. Cunningham playing him almost softball depth.
Bounced into the dugout.
Good grief.
This is Luis's second appearance on the road trip. Couple of walks, a hit and a run. May 25th in Los Angeles. And he's way ahead of the Giants left fielder, Nori Aoki. Belt, Duffy, and Blanco are the Giants' base runners. 1-run deficit for the Braves with 2 outs. And high, ball 1. Deep short, Simmons to his right, fires to second in time, and Avalon does a nice job to escape damage in the 7th. Fultonevich doesn't allow a run in the inning, and the Braves go back to work down 2-1. Our 4-game series at AT&T Park. Fans, time to remind you of our Toyota Tweet of the Week. The question is, what's your best memory of Tim Hudson as a Brave? Tweet your response with the hashtag 9 years of Huddy, and your tweet could appear on Braves Live after the game. I guarantee you Eddie Perez's favorite memory is not when Tim Hudson jumped out of the closet in the hotel room. Scared him to death.
Yeah, he thought he was had.
So Mike Fultonevich, another fine outing. He'll turn it over to Hunter Strickland. He's a Georgia native out of Zebulon, Georgia, county seat of Pike County, an hour south of Atlanta.
Lives in Griffin now. Big guy, 6'4", 220. Throws hard, 95, 96, 97 with a split finger pitch and a slider. Has not given up a run in his major league career dating back to his call up last September.
And he starts Andrelton Simmons with a strike. Simmons has 2 hits. Maben has 2 hits. They've accounted for 4 of the 5 Atlanta has amassed tonight. And here we are in the 8th. Uribe's on deck. He'll bat for Luis Avilan. The pitch just missed. Strickland's come back from rotator cuff surgery with the Pirates, and he's had Tommy John surgery. So go through both of those things and still throw in the mid to upper 90s is a testament to his strength. They like him a lot. In the air to center. Pagan on the run is going to get there. And hung up for the Giants center fielder, and Andrelton's the first out. So the Giants fans boo the former Dodger.
Maybe they're saying ooh.
Could be.
You know, maybe it's just a ooh day.
I'm just happy all the letters are on the back of his shirt tonight. He's had a little trouble with that with the bad seamstress in L.A. And Uribe a little late. Strike one.
Strickland started the year in AAA, was the closer for Sacramento. Got called up and they had a doubleheader when the Giants had a doubleheader in Colorado, and he stayed with the team. Throws across his body a little bit, steps a little toward the third base batter's box, but can still bring it. That was 97.
One ball, one strike for Uribe. We're in the 8th. 2-1 Giants. Good cut. On 1-2 now. That was a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and a perfect spot. 2 outs.
Up and in. The target was down and away. Pitch was up and in, but very effective. Because he's a good high fastball hitter, and Uribe couldn't lay off that.
Strickland was originally picked by the Red Sox. Went to the Pirates for Adam LaRoche in 2009. And then Pittsburgh waived him in April of 2013, and here he is. Part of the Giants bullpen that's been awfully good. They've blown just 2 saves all year and entered this series with a 3.21 ERA. There are a lot of toys for Bruce Bochy to play with in relief. And Strickland's one of them. Even count for Peterson. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Great line for Tim Hudson. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, no walks. Struck out 4, and the only run scored after a ball caromed off his glove to Crawford, who made a throw to first and a throw that should have been caught by Belt, and he couldn't handle it. And the run scored.
Yeah, otherwise, the shutout streak would still be alive for the Giants.
Yeah.
It was at 4 consecutive games. So the Braves ended that in the 3rd inning. They're still a run short. 2-1 San Francisco. Here comes some more heat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's popped up. Duffy drifts out. Crawford is there. Aoki calls him off. And Strickland works a perfect 8th inning. Middle of the order up to the Giants. 2-1 San Francisco. the bottom of the 8th inning. Let's get back to our AT&T Ubers trivia question. Tonight was Tim Hudson's 284th career National League start. 4th most among all active pitchers. Who has the most?
I'm going to go to one of our fallbacks.
Okay.
Bronson Arroyo.
Bronson Arroyo is an excellent answer. And I'm going to go with Bartolo Colon, but I know that's wrong. So let's see if it's Bronson Arroyo. Aaron Harang is the answer.
Dadgummit, we should have gotten that.
Aaron's going to be mad at us.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be the first time. Here's Jim Johnson, third Braves pitcher of the night. Jim's been brilliant in his last 14 1/3 innings for the Braves. 1 earned run in that stretch. And he's got some tough hitters coming up. Panic, Pence, and Posey. And he's promptly gone 3-0. A leadoff walk in the home 8th last night led to a 6-run Giants uprising. And it was the same kind of walk. These are just absolute killers.
Yeah, they are.
Braves pen this year 66 walks now in 136 or so innings.
But especially with this part of their order, asking for trouble.
Hunter Pence is 0 for 3. He's struck out tonight. And that's 5 in a row out of the zone. Ball 1 to Pence.
One for 5 in his career against Jim Johnson.
Popped him up. Peterson drifts out. Wynn's playing tricks with that. He says he's got it, and he does. That was a tough play. 1 out.
Yeah, that was a skinny post route he took to that one. He had to change directions, backpedal, and fight the wind.
Beware the first pitch to Buster Posey. We learned that lesson the hard way tonight.
Yes, indeed.
His big league debut 5 years ago today. On his way to the Rookie of the Year award for the Giants. In that game, Posey had 3 hits and 3 RBIs. And he hasn't stopped hitting since. Runner goes. Pitches a ball. Przinsky had no chance. Panic swipes his second base. That'll keep the Giants out of the double play.
I thought Panic tipped it off on the throw over to first. He got caught leaning a little bit towards second and scrambled back. So I thought maybe he had tipped something off, but no subsequent throw over, no pitch out.
Big sequence. Insurance run in scoring position for Posey, who takes a strike. And now it's an even count. The Braves will have Maben, Freeman, and Markakis in the 9th. Santiago Casillas, the Giant closer, he's warming down the left field line. Fly ball, well hit. Cunningham on the run, still going. Did he catch it? He did not catch it. And the ball bounced off the track and into the stands. It's a ground rule double for Posey. A 3 RBI night. And Panik scores to make it a 3-1 game.
This was not a bad pitch. It was a good hard sinker. Watch this swing. He just drops the barrel down and golfs it. Came close to hitting it out. Cunningham came close catching it. Ground rule double.
So 3 RBIs for Posey tonight. A leadoff walk in the 8th for the second night in a row. Cost the Braves a big run. And the Braves will walk Brandon Belt and set up the double play. That's the maddening thing about the Braves bullpen at times. You can make all the right moves by the book, by your gut, whatever you want to do. But there's been such great inconsistency as far as performance is concerned. There really isn't anyone Freddie can reliably go to in a must-succeed situation right now.
Cunningham had to go a long way to try to track that down, too. We've been talking about him playing shallow and near the line against some off-field hitters, left-handed especially. But with Posey up there, that wouldn't have been the case. And maybe Maben had him played in right center. I didn't notice. He had too far to go as well. But let's face it, it bounced on the warning track.
Yeah, the wind might have pushed it too. The wind is blowing toward.
Yeah, but I mean, he still almost tracked it down.
Yeah.
Cunningham's a good outfielder. He just had too far to go to get that one.
So Brandon Crawford in the catbird seat. 2 on, 1 out in the 8th. Crawford's 1 for 3. Up the middle, base hit. Here comes Posey around third. They're going to wave him. Maben's throw is going to be cut off by Simmons. There's nobody at first trying to nab Crawford. And the Giants have scored 2 runs in the 8th. It was sinking, but Crawford went down and bopped it into center.
Looked like a changeup, and he stayed with it. Boy, these 8th inning runs, these 8th inning add-on runs are just killers. They just take the life out of you.
So the Giants have them first and third now in the inning. Pagan's 1 for 3. One ball, no strikes.
Garcia's still warming up, but he's been joined now by another right-hander in case this lead gets bigger.
Right now it's 4-1 Giants.
Machi has also begun to loosen up.
Braves bullpen this month has taken a beating. Braves pen's got a .488 earned run average in May. One ball, no strikes for Pagan. Two balls, no strikes. And now 2-1. Interesting note about Angel Pagan. He's the first player in Major League history to hit his first 2 career homers on his birthday. On July 2nd, 2006, Pagan was with the Cubs with 2 homers against the White Sox.
I didn't know that. I thought he started with the Mets.
Yeah, he was with the Cubs. Well, he was in the Mets organization, right? The Cubs got him for cash considerations. Then he went back to New York. Then the Giants got him for Andres Torres.
That was a great trade for the Giants.
2 balls and a strike. .290 lifetime hitter as a San Francisco player. Runner at first goes. Pitch low. Krasinski's throw to second. Late. Second stolen base of the inning for the Giants. Crawford's third, and that takes away the double play chance, and now it's a 3-1 count.
Infield would come in. Can't afford to give up another run.
That saves a run. Peterson on the grass takes care of Pagan. 2 out. Now we can back up with Duffy up there. And 2 out. .20 pitches for Johnson. All this trouble started with a leadoff 4-pitch walk. That's in the dirt. It's getting to be the witching hour for the Seagulls. They're starting to circle.
Yeah, they weren't here 10 minutes ago. They weren't here, but all of a sudden.
Count for Duffy, and that's popped toward the Braves bullpen, and that will reach the front row of seats. Nice catch.
You know, you don't see a guy bring his catcher's glove to the game very often.
No.
Nice catch, sir.
Yeah.
They always got their infielder, outfielder glove with them, but not their catcher's glove.
Obviously a big Bob Brenly fan.
Could have been, yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Kirkman ring.
4-1 Giants. Here it comes. That almost hit. And it did hit Duffy.
He got his jersey. Yep. Just got him on the blouse.
Justin Maxwell's announced as the pinch hitter. No place to put him. Bases loaded. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and a hit batsman. 2 stolen bases as well for the Giants. We got 2 in the first, 2 here in the 8th. And a breaking ball of beauty. Maxwell, a former Nat, Astro, and Royal.
I remember him with Houston more than anywhere else because he had such tremendous power. When the Nats got him, they were bound and determined to make him into their center fielder, everyday center fielder. Just didn't work out for him.
18 home runs in 2012 in Houston, but only a .229 average. Entered this year with 295 big league strikeouts and 808 at bats. out of Bethesda, Maryland. And high. Maxwell's a very smart young man. He went to Maryland on a baseball scholarship and went to Maryland instead of Harvard, where he had been accepted. And he tries to slow the pace of Jim Johnson, who's toiled to the tune of 26 eighth-inning pitches.
Well, you mentioned that he had only given up 1 run in his last, what was it, 12 or 13 innings pitched?
14 and a third.
14 and a third, and that leadoff walk got him behind the 8 ball, just as it did Kenneth last night.
Two balls, 2 strikes, bases full, and bounced out of play. Crowd tonight, 41,311. That is the 352nd consecutive sellout. And the 2 is fouled at the plate. Maxwell was fooled by that pitch, but is still alive. Casilla if the Giants don't score. Gene Machi if they do. In the top of the 9th. Popped him up. Freddie Freeman at first is going to have a play, and that is that. A leadoff walk leads to 2 giant runs in the 8th inning, and now it's a 4-1 game.
Let's do this. The Georgia Lottery. And Cherry 5-Hour Energy Shots, helping support Special Operations Warrior Foundation.
Fans' iconic R&B vocal group Boys to Men will perform after the game on Saturday, June 20th for a free post-game concert. That's presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. VIP field and backstage passes are available now. Get here early to see Young Jock perform in the Braves Fan Plaza. Get your tickets today at Braves.com/concerts. Santiago Casilla is on to face the Braves in the 9th inning. He's got the biggest possible lead in order to earn a save.
Low to mid 90s fastball, curve, a good curve, slider and a change, but this guy's been on fire. 14 out of 16 in saves, 33 out of his last 36.
Oh, how about that play? He took away a hit up the middle for Maben. That ball was by him, and Casilla, cat-like quick, nabbed it with the leather.
That was almost into center field already. What a save. He has not been scored on in his last 13 outings. They have an excellent bullpen. They've got balance left and right with Affelt and Javier Lopez from the left side, and some hard-throwing righties, plus Sergio Romo from the right side.
One ball, one strike for Freddie Freeman. He's hitless tonight. 1 for 7 in the series. That's high. 2-2. Giants are hoping to get some good news tomorrow. Matt Cain's supposed to throw a simulated game. He's out with a flexor tendon problem. Just think about the Giants getting him back if he's.
I was told that they're not going to rush him. It may even be the All-Star break before he comes back. But the flexor tendon thing had to do with him when he was throwing his curveball before he blew out his elbow. He had a lot of tightness in those ligaments. So when he actually was able to extend his arm, thanks to the elbow surgery, and throw his curveball like he wanted to.
That's hammered deep center. Pagan going back, and that ball's going to fly out of here in straightaway center. That's one of the longer home runs you'll see hitting this park. Freddie Freeman unloads with his 6th homer. And those 2 runs in the top of the 8th. Agonizing now. It's a 4-2 game.
Boy, are they ever. Casilla's been scored on now. High fastball, just scorched. Posey even stood up to see how far that one was going.
There's some anger in that swing.
Boy.
So the Braves, who have been struggling so mightily to get a home run ball, have their 11th this month. Freddie Freeman unloads with 1 out. His first homer since May 5th. One ball, no strikes from Nick Markakis in the Atlanta ninth. 4-2 is your score now. Low. Hey, you put somebody on, you're a walk and a blast away from tying it in the 9th inning. Nick was right on that one. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, it's his best swing tonight.
Visit with Buster Posey. Giants bullpen's been extremely effective. You'll see that on our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot.
fewest blown saves in Major League Baseball, both by Casilla.
There's strike. 2-2. Garcia's pitched with Oakland and the Giants. Formerly pitched under the name Jairo Garcia for 5 years in the major leagues.
Santiago's, I think, way better than Jairo on the mound.
2-2 pitch. He was told that American scouts like to sign young players from the Dominican, so he took the name and birth certificate from a friend who was 3 years younger. He came clean in 2006. His real age now 34, but had, as you'd expect, visa issues once that was discovered. Full count from Markakis. This is a big pitch in the game. And Nick took a walk. Tying run will come to the plate. And now it's Bruce Bochy's turn and Tim Hudson's turn to be a little nervous now. Atlanta's one swing away from tying this game.
8th walk in 21 innings for Casilla. Chris has not had a lot of luck against Casilla in his career. Just 1 for 6, 4 strikeouts. But he's hit the ball hard twice tonight to third off of Hudson.
Strike one. So the Giants bullpen is forced to work with a 2-run lead now. You've got Przinsky, you've got Cunningham, then Simmons lurking. And it's Jeremy Affeldt.
Being ready in a hurry in case he's needed against Przinsky.
Strike 2 called. Swing and a miss. Boy, that ball had a huge bend in it. And Johnson's the second out.
Big slow curveball. Got him to flinch a little bit. Had his hands already going forward some, so not much left to try to fight that off. Good pitch.
So A.J. Przinsky, the batter, 0 for his last 17. He's popped out, flied out, and grounded out tonight. Strike one. Off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Like he was trying to throw a sinker there, trying to get a ground ball. Had to aim it a little bit.
Downstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. A home run by Freeman, the first run given up by Casilla in his last 14 outings. But the Braves are still down 2. The pitch. Oh, the corner, and Przinsky didn't like it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Not even close. A.J. barked at C.B. Buckner, and he looked away like, yeah, no.
Sellout crowd on its feet. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and A.J. backs out.
See, and that puts you in such a different mindset in this situation, is that if he's going to call that a strike and he tries to throw another pitch out there, you're forced to try to protect the plate, which makes you vulnerable to his mid-90s fastball inside. Instead of 3-1, it's 2-2.
And that one bounced up and hit C.B. Buckner on ball 3. So Posey's checking on C.B. Buckner. He'll take a little extra time and let the home plate umpire shake that one off. That got him solid. Oh, up underneath.
Yeah, it should have been ball 4. Tying runs ought to be on base.
So as it stands now, Markakis will be running with a 3-2 pitch. Braves aren't dead yet. Posey's with the sign, and here it comes. Ball 4. Przinsky flips the bat away, and the Braves have 2 on with 2 outs now. Second walk of the inning, and that'll bring Dave Righetti out to the hill. Romo joins Affeldt in the Giants' pen. And Todd Cunningham, the scheduled hitter. He's a switch hitter, as you know. And 0 for 3 tonight. Christian Bethancourt will be the pinch runner for Przinsky. Well, can the Braves rise from the ashes and snatch one away from the Giants with 2 outs in the ninth? They've got a shot. 2 on, 2 out, 4-2 Giants game. Now the crowd settles back into their seats. Bouncing ball right side. Panic. Got it. Flipped to first, and the Giants have beaten the Braves. 4-2 is your final score. Scratch Atlanta off the list of teams Tim Hudson has not beaten. All that's left for Hudson is the Oakland Athletics. He earns his 3rd victory of the season. Mike Foltynewicz, a tough luck loss. And the Braves' woes on the road trip continue. The Giants are in first place. They win 4-2 tonight.